All right, what do we have here? T. It's an app. Women only app where users anonymously share info and warnings about men to spot red flags and get feedback. Huh? So I guess this is a play off of what? Sharing the tea, basically, where people sort of like share the tea about like problematic sort of like behaviors of men or some shit. Yeah, we pogo fucking tea time. Like, okay, this. I mean, alright, we're gonna do the fucking soy cucked fucking lefty thing, alright? Why does an app like this exist? Root causes and root bases. Socialization, broadly speaking, being dead, right? It's harder than ever for people to be able to socialize with one another because of a lot of extenuating, complicating circumstances and factors. Suburbanization being the one of the biggest ones. Like, being able to afford a car is expensive. Gas, insurance, the lease for the car itself. Not to mention, also, like, people are fucking poorer and poorer than ever. It's really, really difficult for people to be able to justify being able to date other people because, again, you have to spend, like, what, 100 fucking 20 bucks on, like, a restaurant date somewhere? You know, hypothetical, sort of, like, standard fare sort of first date. Again, like, listen, we're gonna pull up the fucking goddamn classic, okay? The way good old wage productivity gap. Wages have not been keeping up with productivity for the past 50 fucking years. 50 years. And this is about the time when unions were starting to decline in terms of power, not being able to fight for rights. So, you know, gee, I wonder why it's becoming harder and harder than ever for people to be able to start socializing with one another. It's because of shit like this, quite literally. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Like almost 40 bucks for just the museum entrance for the museum date. $40 just to get into a museum? Yeah, not to mention that's like a really good point. Everything being so commodified and privatized to shit, right? Like that's another fucking problem with this, right? Because of shit like this. Not to mention also the current social environment that we're in right now. Very, very fucking misogynistic social environment. Not to mention all the fucking like dumbass misandrists because of the fucking failures of third wave fucking feminism. Second wave fucking feminists are sort of like popping more and more out of the woodwork. More and more people are becoming socially ostracized from one another more and more in life. And there's a lot of complicated factors, with suburbanization probably being one of the first ones, but also thanks to social media. Quite literally, like, the concept of being able to socialize with one another is also being taken away from people. Like, quite literally. Like, it is really fucking insane to sort of see that the concept of being able to socialize with one another is being not only commodified but also sort of like destroyed in front of people's eyes with like shit like fucking AI companions, the stupid Grokbot for fuck's sake, the Misa fucking analog. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, dude, this is what the death of humanity, of fucking society fucking looks like. That's not like hyperbole or ridiculous to say. And we have fucking dumbass charlatans like Matt Walsh taking advantage of this. If you're a woman and you need an app like this, the problem is you. Okay, bitch. Like, just because you were able to, I don't know, coerce whatever fucking extremely desperate fucking dipshit into marrying you and having like multiple children with, whatever like heavily socially repressed, abused woman that you are in a fucking marriage with, that like it's not just as fucking simple as just like, yeah, you know, women are bad because they have to use an app like this. No, an app like this is a broader sort of byproduct of a broader sort of societal issue, right? Because apps like this should not be fucking in existence. Let's be quite honest here. Stuff like this should not have to come to be. Oh, 1000 fucking percent here, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, this is a thing in India too. A lot of women are refusing marriage because of how dogshit men are. Working hours are long as shit in India too. Korea. South Korea, dude. That is the fucking model for shit like this. That's the worst one. In South Korea, this is a huge problem. Gender dynamics in South Korea are so bad. Like, you have women going their own way. Like, fucking Wigtow instead of fucking MGTOW. I need people to, broadly speaking, understand because of shit like this. And a lot of it is stemming from fucking work culture in particular, right? Like, productivity fucking wage gap, my dude. Huge proponent of this stuff. Like, huge proponent of this stuff. I wonder, like, what is there about, like, the T app in there, right? Like, what? Inside the new app where women, fucking anonymously, review men? Modern dating is a minefield. In recent years, many straight women have sounded the alarm about the terrible behavior they've been subjected to, both online and off, from catfishing to unsolicited dick pics, to love bombing, to gaslighting, to ghosting, and to more extreme instances of abuse. And the thing is they don't really, like, women haven't based this off of, like, they're not basing this off of nothing, right? Because of the commodification of social media, and it's harder and harder than ever for fucking men to be able to get those socialized relationships. They're not able to sort of do their patriarchal duty of being able to be the main sole provider of the fucking house. The social fucking contract begins to deteriorate, right? And this isn't their fault, right? They're the byproducts of the fucking changing economy. Also, yeah, a lot of, like, women being able to get higher education, a lot more are entering into higher educated fields, and there's a lot more women CEOs and stuff like that as a fucking result of this. This has a heavy effect specifically on men, quite literally, because again, they are seen as not being able to sort of perform their sort of patriarchal duty, and stuff like fucking BuzzFeed Feminism did terrible jobs in terms of addressing that, purely putting the blame solely on men when it is not their fucking fault. Changing economic dynamics, social dynamics, that a lot of fucking goddamn states, governments were not able to fucking make men be able to adapt to, right? But we're able to give a lot of credence for women who were just entering the sort of workforce, so they were forced to immediately be able to, I'm trying to think of the correct term, on like, take in the sort of, like, new sort of economy and economic dynamics that we're finding ourselves under. I think that's the there's a term for this. I'm blanking on it a little bit, but broadly speaking, I hope kind of what I'm saying here makes sense. The broader problem here is purely a sort of, I'm not gonna say adapt Boy Meets Mini, because women were brought into this new sort of changing environment that was starting to change right around the 70s and the 80s, right? When women started to get a lot more rights in order to be able to open credit cards and fucking bank accounts under their own names, which led to this significant change in terms of the market dynamics, right? Because now corporations can now hire, particular 50% of the fucking population, right? And advertise to them, be able to market and sell products to them. I don't think it's like adapt. It's more, I would say onboarded to the sort of new market environment. I think onboard is the word I'm looking for, right? They got onboarded into this and were able to sort of understand the new dynamics immediately. Meanwhile, men, with all the fucking patriarchal propaganda that has been drilled into their heads for decades, were not able to see the changes and were not able to adapt to them. And as a result, we now have the current social and economic malaise that men are currently experiencing. Again, men commit more suicides on average. Drug overdose deaths, that's all fucking young men right there. They're the ones who are suffering the most of this because, again, the economy, and I'm not saying that you need to make the economy tailored towards men. That's not what I'm saying in particular. What I am saying here is that a lot of work needs to be done to help them be able to help adapt. Sort of like unlearn a lot of the sort of like other propaganda that they have been able to sort of like learn, instead of like enforcing more socially hierarchical and ostracized sort of social dynamics, perhaps begin to blend, not take down the fucking hierarchy. But again, capitalists and capitalism can never take down a lot of these social dynamics and hierarchies because of the fact that for them it is about maintaining control of, well, markets, social interaction, all forms of aspect of life so they can market to you and commodify it to you. That is the fucking point. So, we get like dumbass shit like this from fucking Matt Walsh. So, what? I keep ending up with guys who are weirdo creeps. That tells me that either you or yourself are a weirdo creep. What, the woman in this particular instance? In what way? How? The woman can't help herself if she thinks that, a guy who might be a weirdo creep doesn't end up being a weirdo creep. That's the guy being abusive, Matt. But then again, you yourself are a weirdo creep and are probably abusive yourself, which is why you keep attracting those types. Or you're a callous and resentful liar who labels anyone a weirdo creep if they make the mistake of displeasing you in some way. This may be the case for some women, sure, but for the vast majority, that's just not the case. Men are suffering from a social malaise. They are incapable, and it is not incapable, it's been very, very difficult for them to be able to adapt to the new sort of economic malaises that we are currently finding ourselves in. And that's purely the biggest fucking issue here in particular. But Matt is okay with that particular sort of social dynamic because it keeps him on top, the one in the fucking hierarchy. Matt Walsh is just lucky enough to have lucked out to get picked up by some stupid fucking conservative organization. Let's call the Daily Wire a media organization. Sure, in order to be able to be paid, become a millionaire who gets paid by billionaires to push propaganda to make the lives of everyone else broadly worse. That's really about it. Matt, you are contributing to the problem, which is why you are okay with the problem. The possibility that you're a great, honest person who has a problem like this is basically zero. Sure, Matt. And the likelihood that I think that you're a fucking weirdo, abusive piece of shit is quite high. I mean, you unironically call yourself a fucking theocratic fascist because you think it's like triggering to the libs. Whatever, man. So again, I see like a lot of stuff like this T app as a broader sort of systemic issue. Generally speaking, both between women and men, that is meant to enforce social ostracization. More men and more women not being able to socially engage with one another, so then these particular, interactions can get further and further commodified by, corporations who just want to make money from everything, right? It's capitalist fucking realism all over again. And it's fucking sad that literally we have to be gotten to the point where people are so ridiculously suspicious of one another that stupid fucking apps are being made in order to try to be yeah, dude, totally. I need to be able to have my stupid little fucking A-logger fucking app to talk about men that I have a fucking problem with. It's actually fucking crazy. And that's a really good point, Boy Meets Mini. It's a knee-jerk triage response to the problem that unironically makes social isolation worse. Exactly. This is only going to contribute to the problem. This is not going to fix the fucking problem. When the actual issue that needs to be fixed is quite specifically this. You want to fucking fix the socialization problem that people are broadly experiencing, you need to pay them fucking money and be able to have comfortable, fulfilled lives and careers. You want to fix the problem, here's how you fix the fucking problem, and that's by taxing the fuck out of corporations and the rich. Alright, I just want to add a quick little addendum to the sort of a T app situation because some stuff has developed. So the T app team responded on Instagram to comment about the data breach. So 4chaners got into a bunch of people's photos and leaked a bunch of information. So please know that if you signed up for T after February 2024, all your data is secure. Recently discovered unauthorized access to an old archive system. We've acted fast. At this time, no evidence that any current or additional data was accessed. Please note that these photos can in no way be linked to posts within T. So, a bunch of women's faces, because again, to be able to access T, you have to like provide a selfie with yourself. So I don't know, the fucking app can like transvestigate you or some shit, and then you can like chat in the fucking app. Blah 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 blah. That's like pretty much the main fucking meme that's going on. All that got leaked onto 4chan, and as we all know, with 4chan being the way that it is, it's going to be a complete cesspool shit show fest, and it's just going to be like a toxic fucking shithole. Don't think there's really any other hyperbolic or ridiculous way to fucking put this. Like I've already talked about my whole sort of thing with the fucking T app. I don't like the app. It's kind of like sort of emblematic of the sort of social cultural malaise that we find ourselves in, where it's harder and harder than ever for men and women to be able to interact in like healthy sociable fucking ways, and it just becomes more and more difficult with like apps like this to be able to form those sort of like bombs and stuff like that. It just keeps people who are always going to be inherently suspicious of one another. And honestly, it's just kind of sad that this is like the sort of like position that we find ourselves in, purely due to the fact that, well, we just like, it's like, again, I brought it up before, I'll bring it up again. It's the economy, stupid. Why do people not want to interact with one another? Why is it more difficult than ever? Because again, the economy, fucking stupid. It's just, it is bad, it is rough out there. Like, it's more expensive than ever in order to be able to participate within fucking society. And as people have gotten more productive, wages have not just been they've just not been keeping up with it. So it's just unfortunate that this is just kind of the situation that we find ourselves in, and it's the I don't know, like reactionary backlash that we sort of find ourselves in. And it's only going to serve to do one thing and one thing only. Everyone is just going to continue to be socially isolated from one another, and well, men are only going to go deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole and suffer more, and women are also going to suffer more as a byproduct. Like, that's really all there is to say about this. Like, I don't like the T app. I don't really like any of these other like apps for people to sort of be like socially suspicious of one another. Like, that's mostly like the biggest problems that I have with these particular apps, I suppose. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.